For anyone that is a regular on my channel, then all of you know that I never praise DoorDash of anything. And I'm not praising them in this video. Don't get me wrong, I'm not there yet. But I do want to talk about the things that DoorDash is clearly schooling Uber Eats on, because the list it's building up there and a lot of people need to know about it. So the first thing when it comes to the things that basically Uber Eats needs to learn from DoorDash is essentially always going to be tip baiting. You see, on Uber Eats, the customer has up to 1 hour to modify the tip after drop-off. With DoorDash, the customer does not have that. So what we get, not often enough, but it does happen, is customers will go in and revoke a tip even if you did 100% of everything correctly. And I know people will say, well, don't you think about maybe you were disrespectful? Yeah, there is those occasions. But I'm talking about the ones where you did everything right and it still got revoked. But on DoorDash, they don't allow that to happen. And on DoorDash, if you want to revoke your tip towards the driver, you essentially have to go to customer service first and explain everything in detail, because it takes that customer service rep to go in and modify the receipt of your order. So because of that, DoorDash definitely has a point on the agenda when it comes to doing things better versus Uber Eats, because it's the number one reason why a lot of us will turn to DoorDash instead of Uber, because our main pay structure is through tips. Now, another thing when it comes to the DoorDash versus the whole Uber Eats thing is the fact that when they're doing verify this order, yeah, DoorDash has it way more packed than Uber Eats. Now, I'm not saying you can't get around the ropes with DoorDash, but with Uber Eats, they make it far too easy. Sometimes when you get a customer order, they have a QR code and you have to scan the QR code. But you don't want to go to the back of your car, so you can quickly click the button that says that you don't have the QR code and bypass it. As well with DoorDash, you have an option for verification. Theirs is normally you have to put in the last 3 digits of the order number, and then that's how you get through with them. But, and knock on wood, maybe I'm wrong about it, and if so, you can comment below, I have not really seen a bypass option on that. So that makes it so that when it comes to stealing orders or getting off the hook with that, DoorDash again definitely has some things to teach Uber Eats. And here's another one that a lot of us drivers know all about, and it's the one reason why a lot of people are going for DoorDash. It's the acceptance rates. Now, I have talked about this in numerous videos, and this part has not changed. No, you can't get deactivated for having a 0% acceptance rate. But Uber Eats, up until now, which they're changing their model on that, and they are going to implement something in the future, but Uber Eats have had zero incentive when it comes to acceptance rates. So because of that, why would you care if you're at 0, 5, 10, 15% acceptance rate? Versus with DoorDash, now DoorDash, if you have a 50, if you have a 70 or a 90 or 95% acceptance rate, they have their new Dashers reward program, which gives you incentives. Now, I'm not going to praise DoorDash on their incentives, because honestly, I find a lot of it to be BS. For example, priority access. It's all about being at the right place at the right time, and I do believe satisfaction rates, your surveys, implement that way more than what it does acceptance rate. But because I know that there's a lot of people that praise these whole top Dasher reward programs or whatever you want to call it, I won't go into a deep dive upon what I think, because I have my opinion and you have your opinion, but at the end of the day, at least I just voiced mine. Now, another thing when it comes down to Uber Eats, it's their whole, I don't like their survey structure. DoorDash is more simplified. Uber Eats is more point blank and out there. With Uber Eats, you are required to show your picture to the customer. Not everybody is photo confident, and I'm not either, but I guess I do get on camera. But that's because my occupation amongst YouTube is far different than me really wanting to show my face towards, my customer on Uber Eats. But a lot of us have no choice, because if you don't match the picture, they do the picture verification when you're driving, which is complete bullshit on Uber's part, which makes it really hard, but DoorDash does not do that. Now, the survey structure, touching back on that, it is similarly built. Each one of them, you have a survey. But I like how DoorDash is structured with the color codes, and I like how it's organized. With Uber, there is far no organization. You can't see when you get a thumbs down. You don't get an explanation. There's not even a subtext towards it. But with DoorDash, you have that available. Now, going back to the whole taking the picture thing, the number one thing that freaking Uber Eats needs to learn from DoorDash is stop asking us to take a picture when we just completed a delivery. I understand, Uber, you got your verification process, but you don't think that Skip the Dishes and DoorDash, hell, I'll even throw Instacart into this, you don't think that they haven't had to do their own verification process? They have. But at the end of the day, they're not disrupting their drivers, and they're letting them do the work. You don't. And if you're not going to let us do the work, you think we're going to want to come back onto your platform each and every time? I don't think so. But then again, this is why I'm talking about the things that DoorDash does better than Uber Eats. Now, if you have any more that you want to say, go ahead and list them in the comments below, because that one can be pretty fun. Or if you have any touch bases on the ones that I mentioned, go ahead and list them below. And I'll catch you lovelies in the next video.